All I hear is talking, I don't sweat that. If they don't trust me either, I respect that. If she be down the ride, oh, I'll bet that.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is JH. How y'all doing, Postal family? Is everybody good? Is everybody cool? Everybody clean? Are you crisp? Are you feeling? Wait a minute, somebody said they hate when I say that, so I won't say it. Yeah, right. Are you feeling irie? Let's talk. Please, want for your brother what you want for yourself. Understand that before we continue on with this message. Want for your postal brothers and sisters, regardless of their position as a manager, as a supervisor, as a postmaster. Want for your brothers and sisters what you want for yourself. With that being said, September. The major changes are coming before the month of September or around the month of September. Mark my words, you can hold me to that. Changes are happening, Postal family. Changes are happening. You talk about things happening at your plants, September. You talk about things happening at your stations, September. You'll see, I don't know if it has to do with fiscal years ending or starting or whatever it is, but that's what it is. But let's talk about what you clicked on the video for, shall we? First, understand that when somebody gets let go from a position, nobody should be joyous in the fact that somebody loses work. Because regardless of what they're doing in that position, they still have some type of family outside of work. All right? So this is the serious me, and this is me being very, very, very upfront and straightforward. Even my worst enemies, if they lose their job, first person to say, oh man, you need $5 for some food, that'll be me. Want for your brothers what you want for yourself. Now, there are gonna be a lot of managers, I said this in one of the videos a while ago, and the pieces are starting to fall into place, that this man, DeJoy, he is serious about it. Remember when I spoke about him saying to the supervisors that the frontline supervisors' jobs were secure? And then he didn't say anything else about anybody else. So other people, I said, we're going to be starting to move around. People were going to start trying to make their presence known. Y'all said you saw it yourself. But here's what it's called. When a manager or somebody up top has a position that's abolished, it's called RIF, reduction in workforce. So now, let me explain what it is, and we'll talk about it. One of the most difficult situations in any worker's life is being laid off. In the federal government, though, layoffs are called reduction in force, RIF actions. When an agency must abolish positions, the RIF regulations determines whether an employee keeps his or her position or whether the employee has a right to a different position. You understand that? Okay. There's a legal basis for RIF regulations. They're derived from some Veterans Preference Act of 1944. The law provides that the RIF regulations must give effect to 4 retention factors: tenure of employment, veterans preference, total creditable federal civilian and uniform service, and performance ratings. Y'all probably don't care. You want to hear about people getting let go. Not the right thought process. The agency's right to make RIF decisions. Each agency has the right to decide what positions are abolished, whether a RIF is necessary, and when the RIF will take place. Once the agency makes these decisions, the retention regulations then determine which employee is actually reached for a RIF action. the actions covered by the RIF regulations. An agency must use RIF regulations before separating or demoting an employee because of an organizational reason, such as reorganization, which is what we're doing, including lack of work, which they claim we all have, shortage of funds, they claim we broke, insufficient personnel ceiling, I don't even know what that means, or the exercise of certain reemployment or restoration rights. In fact, virtually all RIF actions are the result of a reorganization. The agency reorganizes as a result of a shortage, lack of funds, lack of work, etc. A furlough of more than 30 calendar days or more than 22 discontinuous workdays is also a RIF action. A furlough of 30 or fewer calendar days or 22 or fewer discontinuous work days is called an adverse action. An agency may not use the RIF regulations to separate or demote an employee for personnel reasons, such as problems with the employee's performance conduct. So they're saying that, if a manager up here don't like a manager down there, they're not supposed to say, hey, you know what, let's abolish this position because they have a personal issue with them. So the post office is not that petty. They'll never do that, ever. Yeah, right. They are going to do this nationwide. The people up top that can't stand the person below them, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Anyway, the agency's right to reassign employees. Abolishment of position does not always require the use of RIF procedures. The agency has the right to avoid a RIF action by simply reassigning an employee to a vacant position at the same pay grade without regard to the employee's rights under the RIF regulations. The vacant position may be in the same or a different classification series, line of work, or geographic location. So they don't have the same type of protection that we have, basically. This is a lot of reading here. They don't have the same type of protection that we have. So we get excessed and then we may have to go within 60 miles. That's not the case for managers. Managers can say, you know what, we don't got no positions around here. You either go to his place or you just don't have a job. And then they have like 2 years to go and pick and choose from a position that's parallel to their pay. It's a little more complex, but I gave you just the general structure of what a RIF is. That is what happens to management versus getting fired. 9 times out of 10, managers get very comfortable in their positions, and if they've been there long enough, they'll just take a severance package if it's available or if it's offered, and they'll just retire. Other times, they're put in some very strong situations where they have to make some serious decisions, where they're like, you know what, we need you to go, the next plant away is about 90 miles, and we need you to go over there. And that's the only position that's available. We have a bunch of snakes up top. Let's just keep it real, okay? Keep it real, keep it 100. But the joy is taking care of that. He is. He's taking care of all these overpriced and overpaid people. So you may have a position abolished, and then they may create the same position with an additional position combined. So we always say, how come they got like 10 supervisors, 1 postmaster, an MPO, 4 204Bs, 32, too many chiefs. Never mind. Somebody gonna jump into it. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, there's too many people up top and not enough people on the bottom. Get your mind out the gutter. What they're gonna do is they're gonna combine positions. They're gonna give more work to a manager. So a manager may have the work of 2 different people and they'll eliminate 1 person. Now the manager at that point is like, wait a minute, I'm making $100,000 a year. You were paying this other position $75,000 a year, and now you want to combine this and still pay me $100,000 a year? No, I'm not accepting it. That's how they get rid of people. That's basically what they do. It's just a real snake's tail all the way down. Nonetheless, I say all of that because this stuff is coming down the pipe. It's happening, cuz. happening sooner than later. You will start seeing this stuff start to trickle down at your plants and your stations within the next 2 months. The letters are going out. I know for a fact the letters are going out. And there's gonna be, you'll see, supervisors gonna be coming in there. Well, not the supervisors necessarily, but the managers over at the plants and everybody, they're gonna be coming in there with the face change, like all gritted up. Hey, it is what it is. If they're gonna reduce the workforce on the lower end with us, the foot soldiers, y'all been talking about they need to get rid of all the managers. Okay, so now it's happening. They're gonna have same people, but they're gonna have more responsibilities, or they're gonna get moved to different places. They're gonna have those choices. So here's the thing. Somebody asked me, and he knows who he is. He said he's having a very difficult time. This is story time, so I hope you guys are still here. He's having a very difficult time with a specific supervisor that's assigned to the station. He's at a station, and this is just a summary of it. So everybody at the station has an issue with this new supervisor. I guess less than a year the individual is there. He says that the supervisor, and I can say that, it's probably correct just from the wording that, he put in the message. Supervisors, they get on a high horse. Nonetheless, he's very, very, he's destructive with his words. He's very careless. He's very aggressive. He's one of those supervisors that doesn't need to be in that position. It degrades the whole office, and, the morale is low. So he asked, how is it that they can get rid of a supervisor at a station? So technically the supervisor has not done any physical damage to anybody. None. But he is berated. He has used foul language. He has threatened suspension, taken time away. He's done a lot of foolishness. How does a whole group that are all on the same page, all the carriers, rural carriers are all on the same page about this one supervisor? How do they come together to put, is it an EEO or what do they file? Somebody watching me knows this answer. And if you do know that answer and you want to share that answer, or it's complex, please email me. My email is always in the video description. Because if he had that question, hundreds of people had that same question. And it'd be nice if I can share this with other people. Okay? Because it's never good to come to a toxic work environment and deal with toxicity, because your morale is low. I mean, the individual that wrote me this, I've spoken to before, and he's very, very pleasant individual. And like I said, I've read so many of your guys' stories. It just seems like it's the same thing somewhere USA. So the same thing here, same thing there. But somebody, one of you, has that knowledge. And if you'd like to share it, or if you'd like to be discreet about it, please reach out to Jay, and I will definitely share that information. I appreciate you guys giving me information nationwide. All right. But remember what I said. These managers are next. They next. They're not going to be some happy campers. And this is true. And this is Jay. And we out.
Unexpected expenses stressing you out? Get the money you need now with Loans for Feds, a program designed specifically for federal employees. Bad credit is not a problem. Application is fast and easy with same-day approvals. Apply now.